B. Thomas Collins II, and this is my truth. So I'm going to go over some questions here from ChatGPT. Going over my my fears, my trauma that I have with money, and where it's led me to where I'm at today, and how I've been kind of coping with it and not really healing. So it's time for me to heal. There's so much needed healing that I need. So my goal is to uncover the root of my trauma and begin my healing, because this is a weight that's been bearing on me for years, for decades, and I'm through. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this, like, owning me and owning my life. I'm not going to let it control me anymore. I'm not going to let this be my story. Alright, so I'm going to read over the questions from ChatGPT, although you can see them too. So I'm going to start with the first one. Uncover the root of trauma. So they want me to journal the first moment you remember associating money with fear, shame, or helplessness. I'll say the first moment I remember associating money with fear. I would say it goes back to my childhood. Knowing that my parents didn't have much money. I grew up in a family, a lower middle class family. Weren't poor. We always had food to eat. Both my parents worked hard. Although my parents didn't manage money well, especially my father. My father was older, so when I was born, he had me, I guess I would say, closer towards the end of his working career. He had been working his whole life. But when I was born, well, as long as I'd known him for, so my father had me when he was 50, and he died when he was 69. So as long as I've known him from my memory, he's always sold insurance, life insurance. It's ironic. He passed away in 2004 from colon cancer, and he didn't have any life insurance. So that's part of my story as well. But in life insurance, he sold annuities, which is a particular venture or particular way to invest for retirement. So, like, a lot of times, like, I'm just trying to go back with my memory. Like, I would be at school, so I didn't know what my father was doing most of the day. He'd say he had to go to work, be at the office, but I don't remember. Like, he would drop us off at school. I'm at school. I don't know what's going on when he's home, or if he's really going into the office or whatnot. But I knew that when I got older, his company had merged with another company. So he was working. He did get some awards and stuff with his job, but it was like, wasn't one of those, 9 to 5s where you had to be in the office every day. It wasn't anything like that. It was like one of those, you pop in, you pop out, or something like that, and have conversations. I think more so his sales was more customer based, person to person. I think my aunt was one of his customers. She had an account with him, a retirement account, annuities account with him. So I knew he was working, but I just didn't really see it. I never saw it. Like, I knew my mom would have to get up and go to work. I knew where she worked at. Like, she worked for the electric company for many years when I was young, until she got laid off there. And then she had some different jobs here and there. She was like a school assistant for the school me and my siblings were at. And then later on in her career, she started selling life insurance as well. This is more so, term life insurance and not annuities. So yeah, that's what my mom started doing. But my mom was always like a hard worker. My dad was always, I would say, more so the spender. I feel like I've taken on a lot of his traits because I catch myself spending a lot, sometimes frivolously, not really accounting for, where the money's going, things like that. So I feel like I got a lot of his traits. Sad to say, like, I said, my father died when I was 19. And when you're young, when you're a young kid, this is before, like, really, like, the internet took off. There was no social media, so you just want to be around your friends. So when I was young, I was growing up, I was always in the streets, hanging out with my friends, playing basketball, playing different sports, and, things like that. So I didn't really have a lot of, like, that, those interactions and those lessons that a father would give a child, that I would want to give my son, that I'm going to give my son. I'm giving those key lessons. Maybe he just didn't know. I don't know. But I was never educated about money. In my household or in school. Well, they did give us, like, I think I was like 5th or 6th grade. They told us how to open up a bank account, checking account. But, like, being that young, there was no, like, backing behind it about the importance of savings and stuff like that. I remember opening up my first bank account and they gave you a checkbook and things like that, and you had to track your spending and stuff like that. But, like, when you're a kid, like, it's hard to, like, be able to record every single penny that you spend out of your account, and you don't have that much to begin with. So like I was saying, like, I never really grew up with money. But I was still a happy kid. My parents probably lived beyond their means, especially my father. Christmas was always, like, I'm not gonna say lavish, but, like, we would always get, like, whatever we wanted for Christmas. Like, it'd be years, like, we would wake up and it'd be toys from the corner of the house, from the window to almost our steps, coming down the steps when we wake up for Christmas. I had 3 other siblings, older brother and 2 younger sisters. But, like, I feel like my parents just, I don't know if they use credit cards or what, or they just, I don't know where my parents got the money from. To be honest with you, I don't know. But I would say the biggest fear came from my parents arguing. My parents used to always argue about money, not having enough money, as I'm sure, like, a lot of kids go through, a lot of parents go through, especially in the African American household in our community. Like, we don't just, like, this education wasn't there for us. So like I said, my parents used to always argue about money. I remember one night, my mother's car was repossessed in the middle of the night, and my dad got up yelling, screaming. He went outside, and the tow truck had the car on a lift. Like, I'm a kid, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, what's going on? Like, you're taking the car. Come to find out, my mom's car got repossessed. Like, I don't know, my dad wasn't making the payments he was supposed to, or who was supposed to pay for it. Like, as a kid, like, I don't know, my parents never thought that would, like, be a big impact on me. But it's something I remember, And growing up as an adult, I knew how much of a toll it was taking on my family, and it hurt me to see my parents argue like that. Like, they would go at it, just arguing over money, and it just seemed like it would happen so often. And it's a shame because no child should have to see that. I know it's not what they intend to have or to go through, but a lot of families do go through that. Um, so with that being said, like I knew in my mind, like I never wanted my child to see. I never wanted my child to see me and his mother arguing over money. So like that was always in the back of my mind. That's why I ended up getting a degree in finance. Did I like finance? No. Like my whole thing was like I wanted to learn as much as I could about money, so that me and my wife never had to argue about money. Um, so like finance was never a passion of mine. Never something I actually really wanted to do. It's all stemmed from the trauma of my childhood. So yeah, so that's the first memory associated with fear, shame about money. Okay, next is write a letter, never send. Write a letter never sent to the person or event that made you feel powerless around money. Get it out of your head. Mm. So, I'll write this letter to um, my parents. Um, I'll let them know, like, hey, it's okay. I know that a lot of families go through this. Not mad at you. Um, I wish you guys could have sat me down and explained to me what was going on, why it happened. Not to point blame at each other. Just give me a better understanding of why things things would happen, and just the cause of it. Not like I said, not to point blame, but just say like, hey, listen, like time we overspent on Christmas and we got backed up on the bills because we want to keep you guys happy. I'm sure, like as kids, like we would have sacrificed a lot. Like, hey, like listen, like I don't need to have that bike. I remember one Christmas I got like a $300 bike or something like that. And growing up, in the 80s and 90s, like that's a lot. Me and my brother got one. So, you know, like looking back at it, like our parents couldn't afford it. Got like Sega Genesis for Christmas one year and PlayStation. Like raising four kids, like it's tough. Just want to let them know that I understand. Um, I don't blame you, and yeah, yeah. Build emotional, build emotional safety around money. Every time my creditor calls, breathe and say this aloud. This is a signal, not a threat. I am capable of resolution, not avoidance. Alright. Into one call per day. Practice taking control, not hiding. Shift the identity. Stop identifying as someone trying to fix it and start acting as the wealth architect you've proven to be. You already know creative financing, house hacking, and flipping. Act accordingly. Sure. Create a tactical money reset. Open a separate account titled Abundance Rebuild. Every time you feel anxiety, deposit even $1 into it. It creates new neural links. Money equals choice, not crisis. Rebuild trust with your finances. Track every dollar you owe without shame. Name the creditor, amount, and due dates. For each, write a plan, pay, negotiate, or defer. It's not the debt, it's the vagueness that triggers paralysis. Upgrade your environment, change who you talk money with, Join a study group where money talks positive, strategic, and non-judgmental. Unfollow social media that reinforces lack or flash without substance. Rewire with mind-body conditioning. Daily affirmations are not just words. Say them during a walk, workout, or while taping. Examples. Every call I answer gives me more control. Money flows to me because I solve real problems. Alright. Today's challenge. Today, list the top 3 creditors. Call 1. Do not negotiate yet. Just ask for a balance and thank them. Report back once it's done. Reclaim the frame. Assignment. Create your abundance rebuild account. Put $20 in it. Send me your balance in 7 days. We're tracking mindset and movement now. Alright, so that was my money trauma story. How it got started. That's where it comes from. And I feel like the lack of knowledge as a youth kind of paved the way for where I'm at today. Not to make any excuses for myself. I'm a grown man. I made decisions on my own. But after going through this, I really know what not to do now. So this was definitely an experience for me. And I'm glad I got to get that out, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to share it out there to the public. As embarrassing it may be, hey, this is my truth. And it's only going to help me move forward. So, thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys will share and be able to open up for yourself. And let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thanks.